Everything?
When you walk in the room and the cat starts sneezing.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Hey, everybody. I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and we are back from Dragon Con. Yep, that's all I got today. No, we're back. We lived. We made it. We're here. Hey, Angie. Hey, Pool Pro. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Amzy. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Juan. Hey, Fortune S'mores. It's
What day is it?
I don't know what date it is. It's Thursday, isn't it? I don't know. I don't friggin' know. Whew, man. Okay. I'm actually feeling a lot better too. I got con crud. So if I start like coughing a whole bunch and like just falling to pieces, that's probably mostly why. Hey Meg, hey Terry, hey Beth. Stay ran away from me, right, Nina? Already I'm feeling it. Whew, okay, so Dragon Con went really well. It was not our best Dragon Con we've ever done, but it certainly was not our worst. We sold quite a bit of stuff. It was just, I don't know, we went in with such a, it was an expensive year for us to do. We had gotten an additional table. Sorry, glaring at the traffic because that's effective. We had gotten an additional table. We paid a helper. We had to get 2 new back tires, which that was going to need to happen eventually anyways, probably. And it was just, I don't know, like it cost us like 1,000, if not 1,500 more to do this year than what it did last year. So that into consideration that we didn't make as many sales, is like, I don't know. It's a thing. But that being said, we do have a lot of cool inventory left over that we are putting up for sale on Etsy. So for those of y'all who've been waiting ever so patiently for me to actually start posting stuff for sale onto our Etsy shop, go check it out because we posted 6 things for sale this morning, one of which is this Mama Gemma, which I was so hoping would find a new home at Dragon Con, but a lot of people were like, oh, it's beautiful, it's just too big. So I thought I'd wear it today to show you guys. It's a perfect little statement piece. I mean, it is kind of big, but I think I like big jewelry. Yeah, I'm so sorry. We didn't ship your order before we left. So we are going to do that today, hopefully today. If not, we'll get it packaged up today. If it doesn't get picked up, then it'll go out tomorrow. So, hey, thank you, Melody. I don't know. Be sure to check it out because as that stuff sells, we'll be posting more onto Etsy. So we'll just kind of see about that. But we have, oh no, Stony. So they got ripped off $45. I'm sorry.
On what?
I don't know. I have no idea. How are you and Randy Dandy doing? I think we're pretty good. How are you doing, baby? Like,
fine.
Are you happy to be home?
Oh yeah.
I'm happy to be home.
I'm not sick in the slightest.
I'm happy to have Dragon Con behind. Gosh, you guys, we met so many cool people. Like, gosh, I can't remember all y'all's names. Tammy, if you're watching, it was so cool to meet you, and I'm really glad that you had a good Dragon Con, and your little dragon figurines are so cute, and I'd show everybody, but it's still packed away right now. Eva, if you're watching, oh my god, like, I was sad that you didn't come back by the booth for us to hang out more, but I understand there's a lot to do at Dragon, but I was really hoping that we'd get to hang out more. There were other people's names. Gilbert, I love you. Cass, I don't even think you watched my stuff, but it was really fun to meet you. The gentleman, there were a couple of gentlemen that I hugged that I was very happy to see, but I can't remember you guys' names. You know who you are, though. If you watch my stuff still. One of y'all, you're watching this while you're at work, and you know you're not supposed to, but I don't mind. Hey, happy birthday, Elise. I'm happy to get, Jeannie, it was really good to meet you, and you gave me such a beautiful painting.
It was really great to see Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah and Aaron. Oh my, it was, so nice. I'm gonna wait to announce until Aaron gets here about that thing.
You should let her announce it's her next.
Yeah, I'll let her announce if she wants to. I'm just saying. Yeah, the boss will hear, right? Teresa says that jewelry color you have on really looks great on you. And then the comment moved and I can't read it anymore.
Makes your eyes pop.
Oh, makes my eyes pop. Thank you. Happy womb day. As long as, oh, there you are. He says, as long as I do my work, they don't mind. What is your name, man? Like, I'm so bad at this. How did the changing room work out? I think it only got used actually twice, but
it got used like 12 times.
Like, well, for an actual people taking their clothes off changing room, I think it was
12 times.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't pay attention, I guess.
You lived in there on
I lived in there. I did. A lot of people used the mirror. I really liked. It gave me a staging area. Like, I'm a lady. My name is Gwen. Right on. Well, hey, Gwen. The staging area, like, it gave me a staging area that whenever I needed to relace a corset or redress a mannequin, I wasn't blocking our inventory, which actually leads me to, oh gosh, my eyeballs are so itchy.
You're gonna talk about this?
What? Yeah, 100%. I'm obsessing about this right now. How's the chickies and the garden? The chickens are great. They're free roaming around in the backyard again. The garden is dead. Like squash bugs, all of the seeds, all of the eggs hatched in the squash bugs. I'm really glad that's not a thing, though. Actually, I kind of wish it were. The squash bugs ate my squash plants to death, so I no longer have any squash plants or any cucumbers.
What was the new setup for your dragon?
The new setup, I think, was pretty cool. I lost the plan that I had drawn out. But for those of y'all who saw the sneaky peeky, huh?
It's in there, isn't it?
No, the one that I had drawn out for this year's dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is.
Oh.
You got me. It's coffee time, right? We didn't have as much inventory as I would have liked for dragon, but that's just life. No, the
You were actually very surprised at how much we had.
I was surprised by how much we had, but like our bracelets,
yeah,
we didn't have a whole lot, so we didn't put out all of the bracelet displays.
Yeah.
It's just we just can't function at peak inventory production the way that we had in years past. So I decided to redesign our jewelry setup. So I'm gonna get the camera turned around and I'm gonna talk a little bit more quietly because my throat's hurting. But I'm trying to, how do I get this turned around? Where's that thing at?
You're gonna ASMR.
Yes, I'm gonna ASMR you. If I had any cucumbers, I'd jump in your ear. But how do we, nope, that's not turned around yet either. Okay, no, it's still not, are you shitting me? There we go. Sorry, not to just cuss out the camera. Banjo lady. It's always coffee o'clock. Yes, it is. Yeah, those are my plants. Okay, so I'm dying. So we had thought about initially, like this. Does this make sense to you guys? This is my booth's transformation. Do you see? Right on, mistress. Any jewelry stands you're getting rid of, I gradually give them a new home. Right on, Sparkies. And I'll keep that in mind, though. Honestly, Randy really dislikes change if we can help it. So the fact that I'm wanting to redo the whole booth, more or less, is stressing him out pretty hard. So until we get it set in stone, I'm keeping all of our old displays and everything that we had made. But let's start with the costume side. So just to kind of put it in perspective, we get it, you vape. So this is the aerial view of above. We have your grid set up in the corner. This is almost exactly like how it was this year, except for, oh, what's that? Are we playing peekaboo? Right, Teresa? Except for instead of having this grid wall right here, we're moving it to here because a lot of the inventory that was on this back wall, we didn't move a whole lot off of this area of the display. So we're just moving all of that forward, all of our bracers and our display bar with all of the garments and things on it, as well as our dragon heads and stuff. Those actually sold pretty well. I need to make like 1,000,000 of them. But so this is the aerial view of what that's looking like. And then Randy and I were thinking about condensing our jewelry just down to 6 foot. And I thought about it and I was like, that doesn't really give us more costume display space. We're just reducing the amount of inventory that we have out. But the right, the goal with doing that though is to increase the space right here to get in and out of the booth, because we were wrecking into that all weekend. So what we've decided is to still do an 8 foot setup, but to use the 2 foot by 8 foot tables that they provide, because it gives us an additional 6 inches, which doesn't sound like much, but it's definitely enough to get the job done. And then we'll still have our little L setup where we have our protected checkout area, and then our full 8 foot frontage. Excuse me, which leads us to dun, 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 over here. And this is what I was drawing whenever I was thinking of like the 6 foot setup, but I'm not even gonna bother with that because we decided to still do an 8 foot setup. So, and I tried to do it almost pop-up book style. I've been pretty excited. I was so exhausted and sick yesterday that like I was physically exhausted and sick, but mentally I was brimming with ideas and inspiration after getting to meet so many of y'all and talk to you guys and stuff. Yeah, it's con crud. I'm feeling a lot better. I don't know if you can hear, but I can actually breathe through my nostrils, guys, for like the first time. It's like last time I could do that, which it's been too long. So let's remove this section of the booth. We're going to be putting Ken and Barbie up high. This year we only had Barbie with us. And she was like over here, but she's got such a bad like resting bitch face that I actually think her face is bad for business, because she looks mean, like she's done. She's super done with everybody's crap, and it bums me out. But we're gonna extend the little bases here for them to be on, and then we're gonna have Ken and Barbie stabilized with like bungee cords or strapping around their waistlines so they don't fall on us and we all die. And
it's gonna make taking them down very difficult.
It is gonna make taking them down very difficult, but they're also going to be dressed in our absolutely most expensive showcase pieces. So if people like, we're gonna let them know the price before we take it down. That way, if they're like, oh no, thank you, then we don't have to take it down. But since we didn't really move a lot of inventory off of there this year, it gives us a spot that we can. This is for DragonCon 2020. As well as Anime St. Louis 2020 if we get in. I haven't applied yet. It opens up this week. I'm really, really hoping that we do get in. But other than that, you guys, Randy and I are taking a sabbatical from doing conventions in 2020.
Well, we can do that because everyone's been so gracious to us on Patreon.
Right. The only way we're able to do that is because of everybody's support over on Patreon. But we have some changes happening in our home and different things, and so we just figured, let's give something had to give, and we only did like 5 conventions this year, anyways. So we just decided to cut them out entirely, except for 2, in 2020, and just not stress it. Hey, Penny, how's it hanging? But every convention that we do moving forward is going to be based roughly on this design. So we're still going to have the fitting room / staging area. As you can see here, we'll still have the 4 foot by 4 foot fitting room with the curtain, but there'll be a little bit more of a staging area here with our overstock. Nice, Penny.
You're also moving one panel.
Yeah, I'd mentioned that, moving this 2 foot by 8 foot panel over to right there. Okay. Our 6-inch and 12-inch shelves that we have all of our bracers on, dragon heads, male mannequin, female mannequin, clamshells, and then up high we're gonna put a 2 foot by 6 foot shelf, like grid wall, attached, and have some of our 3D mannequins up very close to the aisle. Some conduit like reinforcement just to keep the wall even more stabilized, more conduit going across here, both as a shower curtain and as stability. But then we're going to use grid squares to fill in this spot here to be able to hang more dragon heads or headdresses. We're going to have a backup dressed mannequin there, another one hanging down low, all of our waterfalls. And then and then the rest of it's more or less like completely the same. This bar here, this horizontal bar, is what we're going to have all of our garments like skirts and shirts and things hanging from. But what I'm really excited about, and what I think you guys will be able to get excited about as well, because I know a lot more you here do jewelry than you do costuming, is our new jewelry setup. Woo, super fancy, sparkly. Just pretend with me for a minute. We are going to redo all of our signage because like there's stuff that we just don't do anymore that was premiered on the signs that we kind of need to like phase out because people keep asking, because I don't really do henna at shows as much anymore because I'm often like out of the booth teaching and stuff. So we're gonna make a banner for the front of the table. It's like a table runner. But oh, I wish I could pull up a picture. Yeah, that's sad. Of what it looked like at Dragon. And typically we only have 1, 2, 3 grid squares, 1, 2, 3 on each side. And then like a little showcase display. And we were only able to display like 3 flats of pendants, 1 thing of rings, 1 thing of ear cuffs, 2 things of bracelets, like 14 necklaces total. Like we weren't actually able to display a lot. Like we think it looked pretty clean and professional, but we were I was unhappy with the quantity of inventory we were able to display. So Daniel. So we'll be doing 3 squares high on each side, which each of these grids are like a 14-inch square panel. And we're making a new bracelet bar, we're making new bracelet humps. We're still going to keep the 3 pendant flats. We're finishing a 4th and then making a 5th entirely new. I'm going to be making some ring cones for displaying rings on, as well as in conjunction with our regular ring trays. We're going to be expanding on our creepy ear display, which that's probably going to be the most expensive thing that we do because I can't really make these myself. So I've tried in the past and I'm quite bad at it. But then the rest of it, and also we met them, Firechild Glass, I think is the name of the studio. I can't remember the company name that they were under at DragonCon, but they do beautiful, beautiful lampwork glass, and I'm very excited to have met them. Randy, actually. They have a Randy, and then Jerry Lynn. I cannot remember. She's the sweetest face, and I can remember her face, but I don't know. But something Lynn and Randy. I think it's Jerry Lynn, actually. I don't know. I have their business cards. They had TVs up showing the process that they go through to make their lampwork glass that they have for sale, and I thought that was just brilliant. Yeah, Daniel, actually, I found the silicone ears that I'd like to get, but they're still like $30 for a pair, and I need like 5 of them.
I should change the subject.
Which that's bumming me straight out. What's up, babe?
Any tips for first-time resin user?
Ooh, mix very carefully following the instructions, and then mix very thoroughly. And if you're in a warm room, that really helps. But other than that, just follow the directions. Easier said than done for sure. But so we're gonna put a little portable DVD player on each side and have one of them running a loop of people in our costumes, or like me and Randy in our costumes, like just sorry, I'm sippy slurping on some hot drink. But this is just, I'm dead, you guys, but I'm still here visiting you from the afterlife. We're gonna have some portable DVD players. This one's gonna have, or one of them is gonna have like a loop of people in our stuff being like happy, like yay, buy more costumes. And then the other one's gonna have a loop of point of view tutorials showing how our jewelry and costumes and stuff are made. more cork heads across the top. We're going to be implementing LED strip lighting through all of this. Not entirely sure how we're going to do it on those ones. I'm thinking because it's a 13-foot strip, so we'll go like boop, doop, 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 like that, and then do another one boop, just across the top there. But that way we'll have lighting in on everything. Yeah, Brandy and I were doing a cost analysis. Whoa! Oh, that scared the poop. It's okay. It's the mailman probably. Kids getting back from school or something. The cost analysis that we did to be able to cast our own was pretty high, and just the time investment too, and the margin for error. I think I'll just be purchasing them like a pair a month for the next year, or the next 5 months, however that works out. 5 cork heads across the top, which is another investment, but those styrofoam heads just do not hold up and are not stable enough for us to be able to display our headdresses on them. So that being said, let's take you into, I have, how do I get this to crank back up?
Pro secret says you don't need to have a portable DVD player. New TVs use a USB thumb drive with pictures and videos on it.
Right on. Well, it's the portable DVD player that I found was way more affordable than any of the TVs that I could find. Though I've also only spent one morning shopping. Colleen says, watching a DragonCon live stream from the booth of a map artist on Twitch and saw you dancing by. No way! Probably frolicking my way over to the bathroom. Would it be feasible to reinforce or stabilize the styrofoam heads? We've worked with the styrofoam heads in the past, and what happens is like the nose will get dented in, or like we've had just like they just get crushed. Like they're not, like after like 3 shows they need replaced. They look super jank. Whereas these cork heads are like $17. They come with a clamp, and I'm not gonna say that they're indestructible, but they're more accurately human head sized. Whereas those styrofoam heads are like more like a child or petite teenager. Right on. Yeah, we try to stay away from flashing for those. I don't know if it's just conventions or what, but we get a pretty high rate of folks with epilepsy. Like that was something that I hadn't even taken into consideration until I was performing with my LED hoop. And they were like, no, we've got to do the announcement. And like 10 people left the room. Ooh. Your Dragon Eye wire wrap bracelet was shared on a monster tutorial page involving everyone is in love and inspired. Oh, right on. Very cool. But yeah, we are gonna have it where like we can like change the light settings and stuff. So, but I want to show you guys the new displays that we've started making right now. Ooh, I'm all trapped by the table. I'm drafting everything out in Craftroom first. That way, that's an idea. Though honestly, that might be, resin's kind of expensive. It may just be more affordable to sorry, I gotta get the legs extended on this. It might be more affordable to just get the cork head. Sorry, super professional. There we go. Okay, so I'm doing a mock setup of our booth, kind of. How do you make the crown with wire? We've made some before, yeah. Let me get a light plugged in. So yeah. Excuse me. We're drafting out all of the displays with foam first. That way we're gonna do a whole mock setup of the whole 8-foot setup and see if there's any blind spots, see if something needs resized, if we need to go bigger, if we can go smaller, like just however. But we're gonna come through, and I want to show you guys actually with this necklace how each of the displays work, because as I work out the templates, I'm going to be uploading them to our Dropbox as well as posting them for sale on Etsy. So all y'all who are in our $10 and up tiers on Patreon will be getting the digital download for that whenever I finally get it put together. Excuse me. But yeah, so we have these ones that we just, And I figured we'll be able to display a minimum of like 5 necklaces on these tall displays. Can't even see what I was doing. Paper clay to fix the face, make it the right size, and make it solid. Right on, that's a really good idea. Oops, didn't mean to kick the tripod. But we can fit about 5 necklaces. For those of y'all who follow us over on Patreon, I did a public post over there last night showing this just loaded up with necklaces. This one, I haven't cut into it yet, but it's going to have the notches into the side. So we'll be able to display at least 3, but we can fit up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 necklaces on that one display. And now granted, that'd be if they're just plain chains, but you know, sometimes that happens. And with each of these, I'm considering doing on some of them this wood grain texture, because we're going to be making them out of leather. So we'll be cutting in this wood grain texture, but then staining it like solid black. That way there's a texture, but not so much that and that's Mandy, that's actually, we're actually going for a nice like leafy look. Let me grab the leafy thing. What you doing, though?
Will you be in St. Louis in the future?
Huh?
Will you be in St. Louis in the future?
We hope so. We hope to be. Well, I guess I'll answer there when they keep moving. We hope to be in St. Louis for Anime St. Louis. So these ones I am going for like a big leafy effect. And like this one, I was even experimenting with like making the top like be a little twisty thing. But then for these ones, which this is the bracelet cone design that I currently have up for sale for like $1 on my Etsy. But with very little modification, we're just gonna make it into like a leaf, like have it be the same template, but like a little leaf cone. Like that's not gonna be there. It's just gonna be. And I'm going to do, not up here is going to remain plain. And then we're just going to like cut into there to make like a leaf patterning and stuff. And then for these bigger templates, some of them are going to have wood grain and some of them are going to have a leaf edge. And that way when they're just sitting in the booth, oops. And I've literally just been cutting out foam and clamping it together, not even gluing or anything, just seeing how many of what sizes we'll need. These are the long point you're going to stack some bracelets too. We hope so. We'll see. Like a lot, we'll see. And I'm hoping to make a bunch of little LED crystals that we can like mix in with our setup, just anything to add like light, maybe a little bit of like a flickering movement. I want it to look like, I want to make little toadstools and just have them be like light up toadstools in like it's growing. Like I want it to look like leaves that fell on the forest floor with like mushrooms and stuff growing up through it. Yeah. And then we have our circlet display. I'm thinking is going to be out of leather, but we're going to back it with a product called Floss Shape, which is a thermoplastic that's, and once you heat it, it's set. I'm not going to have to worry about it melting in the car, but that way it'll keep that kind of rounded shape. And then we can take our circlets. And just actually have them properly displayed, because this year we had our circlets displayed just sitting on the table and it was jank. Like we did not sell circlets very well. Granted, we only had 3 of them, and I don't know, we had 3 of them, we sold 2 of them. That's not bad. But I want to show you guys, and this is something that we'll actually be working on a project today. But we have, this is the base, and let's go over into the craft room. And I'll show you guys how we're doing that. The leaf and mushroom sound so cool. I think it will draw people. Oh, right on, Elise. I'm really hoping that it will, because there's a lot of people who have very good looking setups and stuff, and you know, we run into, and I can't complain at all, because I literally teach people how to do what I do for a living. So I can't be like, oh, there's too many jewelry vendors, harumph. but it's it helps us to stand out a little bit more, I think, if instead of like, oh well, the chainmail vendor, it's like, oh well, which one? There's like 20 of you. It's the forest booth, or just absolutely excuse me, absolutely anything to be able to stand out. It's not as bad as it sounds. Like, I'm feeling a lot better, you guys. It's just, I'm just dead. So if you can see, also it's very loud, but that's because it's hot in here. Do you still have those templates on Etsy? I do. And honestly, just print it off and like draw some leaf shapes around the hem of it and you'll be fine. But you could also wait for me to do it and buy it if you want to give me $1. Oh no, I spilled beads. Okay, let's get this lamp on. Ow. It's the hardest lamp to turn on ever. Excuse me. So, moving this over here so that you can see what in the heck I'm doing. Hey, Samora. Yeah, we're hoping to put some fairy houses out, but that's if I can ever get another one sculpted. That's another reason why we're kind of taking cons off this year, is so I can art a little bit. So this is just a strip of leather that I've added snaps, very durable, and a little loop of leather here that I'm going to take a rod that I've used. It's not finished yet. The epoxy sculpt is still setting up. But I've set a really beautiful but broken tipped quartz crystal. Excuse me. And, well, we'll begin by snapping it. And then we secure the rod. So you can kind of see how that's working. And then for our very long display, it's gonna have, kind of gonna look like a T coming out of the top just a little bit, and then a strap. And so that strap is actually going to be wrapping around the base of this rod. And that way, and then I'll be installing another snap here on the front. And that way this will all be held together and be able to support the weight of the jewelry. Even if there's quite a bit of weight, it'll just slump in a little bit, but I think the leather that we're going to use will be able to hold up pretty well. But yeah, so, and we'll have little quartz crystals at the top. Like, I want to make pretty things, like, not just for sale. Like, that's the part that, I mean, I love being able to sell what I make for a living, but I want to make some stuff without having to worry about if it's marketable or how much it's going to sell for. Like, you know what I mean? Like that part, it makes it feel very limiting. I mean, it's very motivating, but, so yeah, so this will be, I'll be putting a design out on this, and I think on this one I might do a little bit of like leaf texture out towards the edges, but leave it very plain in the center, that way it doesn't distract from excuse me, sorry. That way it doesn't distract from like the focal pieces. So yeah, it's honestly, guys, I'm taking a bunch of like meds and stuff. The best thing for me right now is to not talk, but that's not gonna happen. So sometimes you just want to make something nice for yourself, right? And that's, I thought, making it for in the booth helps me feel like it's justified. Like, I'm not just, like, we put up fairy lights, like 9-foot long fairy lights, all over the whole booth this year at DragonCon, and it was a pain in everybody's butt. I enjoyed it, but Zach had to take them down, and because he's tall, it didn't really know where everything goes. And so I'm like, sorry, but I love this. This is happening. But it did. A lot of people commented they thought it looked really nice. But it's like, we were setting it up, and I was like, this is frivolous and unnecessary. Just like me. Like, there's nothing about me that's like, oh yeah. No, I'm a very frivolous and unnecessary person. It's like, we're playful. What's the point? So I'm going to wait for that to get set up. The reason why I didn't use polymer clay on this is because I only had this one bit of wooden dowel, and I'm going to be using like PVC pipe for some of the other ones in the same 3/8 inch diameter. excuse me. And the epoxy sculpt is a little bit stronger, I think, than polymer clay is, and it also doesn't have to be baked, so that way I'll be able to attach it to a plastic rod, which is what we're about to do now. Put PVC pipe on the bottom of crystal color, change base. Ah! Oh, that'd be neat, Jen. I've been making borax to make jerseys in my bezels. Ooh, Renee, that's cool. Did you come to my neck of the woods and get sick? I did. But it's like, I mean, there's so many people at Dragon Con. I'm not surprised at all that I took ill. At all. So, excuse me. I'll have to feed you the unnecessary self-description. Oh, Penny, you're so sweet. So the product that I'm using is Epoxy Sculpt. I just use their natural color, though they do have it in some different colors. I actually really like their black. It's a really nice base, and if the paint ever scrapes off, it's just the black underlayer. So I think in the future I may get that one for using in all of my creations. It is important to glove up. This is a chemical, like don't eat it. You know. 2x2 hands of blue. Have you ever seen a sculpture made from cicada shells? I just collected a bunch this morning. I haven't. Oh, that'd be so neat though. Aw, thanks, Ghost. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a million times better actually than what we did before leaving for Dragon. I'm really looking forward to the next year of being home and focusing on our online business, and the garden and our health. We were going to the gym almost every day before Dragon, except for like those last like 5 days before Dragon. I was craft binging hard, and Randy and I both commented. We were like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. Physically, we were still tired, but we weren't dead the way that we would have been if we hadn't been going to the gym. So we're gonna get this flipped around. Oh, Jade, you're very sweet. I put on like makeup and stuff, so that really helps. You know, neutralize those dark circles. I've been doing my own flowers from oven baked claying. Oh, right on, Renee. Yes. Oh, I'm so tired of chicken soup though. That's all I've had for like the past like day and a half. Yeah, Tracy. So you just pull out equal portions. I try to always make sure that I have the right lid with the right jar because I don't want to mess it up. Spicy chili works better for getting down the sickness. Yeah, a lot of it at this point is my throat is just raw from coughing, but like the congestion's gone, the sore throat's gone. The lip color, gosh, it's a lip plumper from like Bare Minerals that they've discontinued. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a dusty rose one. So we're just gonna fold and roll. You can see that nice marbling. You want it mixed until that marbling is gone. You can also just fold and smush. Now, Epoxy Sculpt is quite heavy. So on some of these projects that I'm going to be doing with y'all, because I'm going to take you guys step by step through excuse me, I'm going to be taking you guys step by step through how I renovate my booth, because man, I wish I had had these ideas and thoughts and knowledge and experience whenever I was first starting our craft show setup. But I'm going to try to keep a total cost analysis of like everything that we have, you know, and everything that we would, like if we were buying it new, how much would this cost us to put our booth together. So just to kind of take y'all along for the ride. And also, I think it's going to be a lot of fun because, like, for our earring displays, we have one of those from Fire Mountain Gems that has, like, the tiers, and it's copper, and it spins, and it has a solid base, and it has, like, the roses at the top. But the roses broke off, like, forever ago. And so I'm going to make, like, a little topper that's, like, these little bioluminescent mushrooms or something growing out of the top. So, Okay, and I can actually feel this heating up just a little bit. I don't know if it's just because I've been using my hands or what, but I already have the quartz crystal point that I'm going to use picked out. I really, really love this one with all of those inclusions and stuff. Like, in some angles, it's completely crystal clear, and then others you have, you know, some inclusions. It's just truly a beautiful stone. Nature does all the hard work on these. I just have to mount it. That's why I like gemstones so much. And then my janky piece of PVC rod. Okay, so I'm going to start with just a chunk. Like, now it was easier with the wood because I didn't have this hole. But then also, I'm just going to place my crystal and then start smushing this epoxy around. Now, if I were a more patient person, my perfect record, like in a perfect world, I would set this, smooth it out, and then leave it. Oh, magic, that's really generous. Oh, thanks, Mikio. That's like crazy generous of you. But yeah, in a perfect world, I would do this, smooth it all out, and then let it set up completely, and then mix up a fresh batch and do all of the decorative work and stuff on top of it. That way I don't have to worry about my stone going lopsided on me. But the... I ain't about that life. So... I am just going to be smushing. Excuse me. Smushing. This is not one of our Doug crystals. I had actually purchased this from a lady while we were in Hot Springs, Arkansas at SpaCon. And I really, really loved it. And she had a pretty good price. But no, we aren't done processing our Doug crystals yet. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the camera turned around, because I worked with this stuff pinned between my thighs. And I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm rolling the tripod down. Do. Okay, so now you can kind of see what's up. Excuse me. But I really, really love. Now, also something that I've done in the past too is put like foil, like a copper tape on the base of the quartz crystal. And that way it looks all coppery, but I kind of like the white, like the gray white of it coming through. I'm turning it each way, trying to look and see and make sure that it looks nice and centered, and just as much as I can. And so now we're going to be folding and rolling. Whoa! There it goes. I'm going to tear that in like. And I'm just going to roll this out like I would a polymer clay snake. Hey, love yourself. How's it going? And after the epoxy sculpt cures completely, like tomorrow, I'm going to go through and I'm going to paint it with probably like some black and green acrylic paints. If you want, I'll go ahead and get a video of that. Or I'm going to be making quite a few more of these, so I may just do a video from start to finish on that for those of y'all who don't watch the live streams, or who get like super grainy live streams. That's a thing too. But I'll go through and paint it, and then I'm actually going to add some wire wrapping around it as well. So just making a little loop. Oh, I don't know. What's it says the working timeline. Oh, that's very handy. 30 minutes. It is sticky and most adhesive, it says. And then 1 to 2 hours. It's easy to work with. 2 to 3 hours. Setting up formidable detail. And then at 24 hours, it's hard, cured, and waterproof. So I like to use it just as quick as I can, actually. Like, I've never been one to want to sit on my epoxy sculpt, because even whenever I start working with it, like, immediately, it still takes me until it stops being malleable to figure out exactly what it is that I'm doing with it. So now we're just going to keep rolling this back out. Though at the 2 to 3 hour mark, that is whenever I like to carve in it, because it doesn't distort quite as easily as it does whenever it's all sticky. Like, it doesn't grab the tools, if that makes sense. Oh, well, thanks, love yourself. I've decided that's another thing that we're going to try to do better at, now that we're home, is our Instagram presence. And I finally figured out how to link our Instagram to our actual business Facebook page, so I'll be more active over there, hopefully. Just, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Just trying to be a better business person in this modern age. Oh no, it's cracking. So yeah, it's really kind of plain, just doing the little twisty tendrils and stuff. But since it's sticky, I don't feel as confident working with it as I do with polymer clay. That's alright. And we could come through, oh, I bet I could use, maybe I have some little tabs that aren't much use for other stuff because of their size or their color. Oh, that was so pretty. How would that look on there? No. Some really pretty opalites on them. And maybe some like broken quartz crystals would be cool. Excuse me. I got some polymer clay in here. That's pretty. That's very pretty, actually. Oh, we got a little tiger's eye. So I had a little boo-boo spot, so I'm going to smush some tiger's eye right on top of that. Smash. Like that. Chain is always a good option for men's jewelry. The lotion doesn't break down the clay at all. I've used that method only for years. Oh, sorry. I think I missed something. That's alright though. Lowering that down. I like just the little spiral there at the top. And then I've got some red jumper. I'm going to do a little... Do what, love? I do. I think they're currently sold out. I haven't relisted them on Etsy because we weren't home. Yeah, I think I'm just going to smush these guys in, and then after this has set up, I'll do a second layer of the epoxy sculpt with like some little swirls and stuff around them. Come here, you. I want to craft with you. Oh, and it's like carved like a scarab too. It's really neat. But yeah, just smushing in some little stones. Ooh, there's a little amethyst bead. I didn't even know half this stuff was in here. There's another gold stone. We'll do that down here. I know I'm just making it up as I go. Oh, there's one. Was this? Oh, this was my goldstone drawer. That's why there's so much of that in here. Okay, that makes more sense. Excuse me, sorry. Oh, guys, I just found a really cute little unakite teardrop. Teeny tiny. Huh, no, that's a really good idea. I haven't tried that. I'll have to test it out. Ooh, little unakite hearts. Another little unakite. And I'll swoosh you right there. Oops. Yeah, that's the problem with it still being soft, is I'm like wonking it over. But yeah, a lot of these are like cracked or chipped cabs that I just haven't used because maybe they're too small or too irregular. Um, but I think they're perfect for using in something like this. So now we have all those little gems set in there. And this is just epoxy sculpt. But yeah, I'm going to leave that in there, and then I'll revisit it maybe in like 5 or 6 hours and do another layer with a little bit more like sculpting and spiraling and maybe some little like nubs, like how I did on this one. But yeah, these are going to be the toppers for our new displays. Do what, Randy? Oh, sorry. But yeah, this one I need to do a little bit of cleanup work and maybe add in some more little dots and stuff. Like my favorite way of adding dots with epoxy sculpt is to sculpt the dots first, let them harden, and then when I'm sculpting, I can then go in and smush in the epoxy sculpt dots. Just that way it's not smushing them flat like how it did here. But I mean, these same techniques, this would be perfect for like a wand topper or a staff topper or a lot of the different things because this stuff is hecka strong. And doesn't require any baking. It's just a chemical reaction as it hardens. Excuse me. So now the way that I'm letting these dry is I have them kind of propped in my metal smithing desk. I just have the bottom tray pulled out just a little bit to keep them leaning in the right direction. And now they'll sit here and cure. Hopefully, I keep coming back and checking to make sure that they're straight for a few hours, just to make sure that they aren't moving around on me. So that is how I'm doing those, the tops of those displays. And we have, hey AJ, how's it going? We still have some time, so I'd love to answer some of y'all's questions, if you have any. Thanks, Susan. Callie is running amok outside, probably chasing the chickens again. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my coffee. Okay. We will not be at SpaCon this year. The only conventions that we have planned for this foreseeable future are MCFC, which we won't be vending, but we'll be teaching. And then Anime St. Louis in the spring, if we get in. I always have my fingers crossed for that one. And then DragonCon 2020. We need a break from doing conventions, I think. And I think it'll be really good for us to take a year, revisit our inventory, revisit our display, kind of get everything figured out. I think it'll be really good. That would be really cool, Blue. We did pretty good at Dragon. Sparky's, we sold the Maple Leaf costume. Which, oh my gosh, the lady that we sold it to was so beautiful in it. And I follow her on Instagram now, and it's like apparently was her birthday and wedding weekend. So I thought that was really cool that she got to get that costume for like her run fair and convention garb and stuff. But we didn't sell nearly as much scale mail as we thought we would. Like, honestly, we sold really well on Friday, and then we looked completely picked over for the rest of the weekend. So Randy and I actually have we've set up a monthly production schedule for until DragonCon 2020. All sorts of stuff, Samantha. I'm gonna be doing all sorts of wire wrapping, more intricate pieces, more beginner friendly pieces. Right on. I was really happy too. So we made more off of that one sale than what we had all day. Saturday and Sunday were super weird because I guess the fire marshal really cracked down on the number of people in the building. So there were points, right, Sparky? No, that is not a surprise. there were points in the building where there was just nobody in our aisle, like at all, because they closed the sky bridges and they were only letting people in through the front door. So there was like the line was wrapped around the America Smart building like 3 times, they were saying. I just know that by the time that people did get inside, they were tired. They've been standing in the heat for at least an hour. And it's like, I'm like, that sucks. Like, I wouldn't, if I had paid to beat a dragon just as an attendee, I wouldn't want to stand in line for, oh, shoot, even half an hour just to get into the dealer's room. It's like, yeah, and they made you start on the first floor and then work your way up. And it's just like, like, I understand wanting to control the direction flow and stuff, but it's like, holy crap. Michael says 3,200 steps to get in to the vendor room for me. Just gonna say, I've already gone out and done my animal chores and stuff this morning and swept. And I'm only up to 3,900 steps. Like, all that just to get in, and then you still have to walk through 4 floors. It's like, oof. Teresa says the Hurricane Doreen was a big issue also. That's just a mess. Like, yeah, so I can't complain because I am but a lowly vendor. We are at the mercy of the venue that we're at. And I had to, and it being a little slower on Saturday, I was actually able to hang out and catch up with some of y'all. So that was wonderful. But we're coming prepared to make lots and lots of sales next year. Definitely beefing up our gentleman's costuming because that sold out on Friday. Right on. And evacuate from Dorian. Holy crap, I hope everybody's okay. We did still have a profit, though honestly we put some towards taxes. We put some towards beefing up our emergency fund and our, car emergency fund. And we're out of money already. So I'm like, time to post stuff to Etsy. So, but it was good to be able to, it was really good to be able to do those things. So, need more steampunk. Right on. I'll get that for you, Poor Pro. We dodged a bullet, thank goodness. No damage, no storm surge. Right on. I'm glad to hear that, Bennett. Graham crackers. Do what, love? Because I'm hungry? Oh yeah, we're out of food. We haven't bought groceries since we got back from Dragon. And I'm out of meal preps, like everything. So I dug some graham crackers out of the con bag. And we're eating convention food that we normally save for eating the booth. But no, it was just really tasty. It was only like 280 calories for the whole stack. Hey, Sean. But also, taking a sabbatical this year from conventions is going to let us focus a little bit more on putting together some sort of craft along with Juan event or craft along con. Like, we're going to see. We did, Sean. We did pretty good. I can't complain. And y'all know that's what I'm best at. Naim asks, do you have some sort of tax/sales tracking sheets to keep track of your business expenses and such? I don't have a blank template. We use Intuit QuickBooks. It's like $17 a month, I think, roundabout there. It tracks our mileage. It logs our, like, I have it linked to the business bank account. And we just track everything with our expenses and what they actually are. So this past year, whenever we filed our taxes, was like the easiest it's ever been. That just stresses me out just to think about it. But yeah, it's basically QuickBooks. It links directly into TurboTax. You take it into your accountant and be like, here it is. Now we still save all of our paper receipts. Sorry, I know some people are like, oh my god, you're eating on camera. I'm human, get over it. Mostly human. But yeah. We're home. We made it. We survived another Dragon Con. Now, I do have to say, Zach was a fantastic help in the booth. And our friends Ben and Tracy with World of Strange are beyond awesome. Like, I can't even. We were so lucky to have friends like them. We actually got to meet my friend Tracy's sister, who is, if y'all are on Instagram and are interested in inspiring weight loss and keto and stuff, it's Big Broke Keto Girl, I think, with like underscores on Instagram. She's amazing. She's lost like 80 pounds. Um, just, they're a really good bunch of people, and I'm really glad to have gotten to spend the week with them. But gosh, it seems to last forever, but also blows by so fast. But we're home. We survived Dragon. We're busy already prepping up for this month's Patreon, which will be shipping out on the 15th. Come hell or high water. Hey, Bryn. I actually think I'm gonna make Moku Magane. Yeah. Yeah, no shitting, Laura. Yeah. That's Tracy's sister. She's a really cool person, very hard worker, and did not slip up once at Dragon while on her, like, in her keto stuff. Right on, Maggie. Says I lost 122 pounds on keto in 6 months. Right, Diane? Well, thank you. No, that's phenomenal. Ben and Tracy both, like, they lost so much weight. I was actually, keto's easy if you can quit the sugar. Because it's like, Laura says I have both World of Strange and her on Instagram. Yep, it's a small world, isn't it? But, I lack discipline and consistency, so I personally focus on calorie counting because, right? Well, it's you can pull it off with chicken and stuff. There's a way for everybody. There's some people who are doing like vegan keto, which I'm not entirely certain how that works. But there's people who's doing it. Did you get the issues with your mail person resolved? I don't know. I haven't checked the mail yet today, Lisa. We'll see. I'm saving that for future Vaughn. Keto is sustainable if you like to cook, in my opinion. A swerve as a sweetener has also been a lifesaver. Right on. Do you charge sales tax at cons? If so, how do you determine how much to charge? They give you, typically at a lot of events now, they'll give you a packed sheet right at the beginning that says right at the top how much you're supposed to be collecting, and we just go through and calculate. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, so on dollar sales, and we just have a chart that it's like, if it's, don't quote me on it, because I think when we're in Alabama with like the 9.75 sales tax, like 9.75 or whatever, depending on what city or county you're in. If it's a $25 sale, then the total is like $27.44. So we just check the thing, and by Saturday we have it memorized. Do what, love? Yeah, I think Birmingham's just around 10, but Sabrina says, I'm thinking about vending at Dragon. Any advice? If you can, the best advice that I can give to anybody who wants to vend or is vending Dragon, if you can get there for Wednesday load-in and schedule your time slot, do it. Because yeah, you're spending another day in Atlanta and you're on the road for another day, but you don't have to deal with the marshalling yard. You get there Thursday for setup and your shit's already there. Like, we got penciled in for after 5 o'clock and we were able to just load in off the sidewalk. But just adding in that extra day helps you dodge so much of a headache and a hassle. And just, like, Dragon Con's a little bit of an excursion. So treat it as such, and also by leaving a day early. If we hadn't left early, then we wouldn't have had time to have gotten our 2 back tires replaced after we hit this like thing on a bridge on the way over. Like, we woke up to a flat tire and like the other one was like wobbling. Yeah, Square calculates the sales tax for you as well. But it just gives you an extra day to get all your duck in a rows. Right on, Penny. Yeah, and it's just like all things, moderation and balance and stuff, and diet. But for Dragon, get there on Wednesday if you can. Spring for electricity. You're already paying an arm and a leg you may as well get electricity. That way you can charge your phone. That way you can have lights, which make a dramatic difference in how much your booth stands out. I mean, the room's well lit, but it has this like convention center lighting, like, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like harsh overhead, but if you have lighting directly on your display and things, people just come on in. You know, we're like moths. Spring for lighting. Also, Randy and I keep an electric cooler that like plugs into the cigarette lighter of your car, and then have an adapter so it can plug in. So we had a cooler with like meat and cheese and grapes and coffee creamer all week, which was really nice. I'm just saying, that was really nice. It's nice to be able to drink cold water when your throat's burning from talking. Like, it was nice. We brought the Keurig. We paid over $100 for electricity. We're bringing the Keurig. We brought a hot water pot. So I was making coffee in the booth. We were making instant mashed potatoes, which our favorite lunch for in the booth is instant mashed potatoes with a pouch of cooked chicken. We didn't have any problem with theft this year, but we're also very, very careful. It was like 3 or 4 years ago that we actually got our phone stolen on Thursday during setup by somebody. But they were going around and stealing a
That's
whole.
my tip, is don't put anything electronically valuable out of sight.
I don't think you can hear him, but Randy's in there going, that's his tip, is don't ever set your phone down out of sight. Like, don't set it down on your table and then walk to the other side of the table.
It doesn't matter.
Wear an apron or.
Thursday.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what day it is. If it's valuable to you, do not set it down, because I'm not a victim blamer, but I am a predators are out there, and they're gonna be watching, and they're gonna be paying attention whenever you aren't. And that's what happens to me every time. Whenever I get taken advantage of, is they were paying attention when I was not. I had set my phone down and walked away to help, our friends with something. We were just laughing and shooting the wind. It was like a Thursday. It's like we didn't think. And we got our phone stolen. That was the only way we had to take card that weekend, so that was pretty crappy. So this year, I wore an apron the whole time, so everything right into my pockets. So get there Wednesday, get electricity, creature comforts are pretty nice. Bring a cooler of food if you can. We brought it in on Wednesday and just plugged it in and left it there all week. So we were able to, Christina, I've never actually caught anybody red-handed stealing something, but the key is to get the thing back from them, and if they're standing by your booth, yell for security. A lot of conventions have security. Right, Melissa? I didn't wear a bra all weekend, so I couldn't use my bra as a phone holder. Yeah. Other tips. And this is just vending in general, but if it starts to feel like sales are going slow and people are just zombieing by, like when things are going the worst, that's when you have to turn it up the hardest. Like, greet every walking by your booth. Like, make eye contact. Be like, yo, hey, what's up? Are you enjoying yourself? Like, don't force sales. Like, don't be a carny huckster. But because DragonCon can be such sensory overload that some people, they just start they just glaze over. So if you're able to pop them out of it, not only are you making an opportunity for a sale, but you're going to be a pleasant interaction with them. And there were a lot of people who actually ended up buying stuff from us on Saturday when we had a lot of sweaty zombies meandering by, who were they just liked hanging out with me, and then they were like, yeah, and then they'd buy something. I'm like, that's not why I did it, but thanks. It's better than standing there bored or sitting there with your face in your phone. Other tips for Dragon. During loadout, inventory amount as much as humanly possible. As much as humanly possible. Yeah, right on, Laura. Exactly. Just doing something to not instigate, but something to initiate a conversation. Be like, hey, how's it going? If you have any questions, just holler at me. During loadout, it's very important that you're able to fit your own dolly. They're like $80 or $90 at Lowe's or Home Depot or Harbor Freight. And bungee the out of it. Like, we bring like probably 10 bungees, like heavy duty tie down bungees. Um, excuse me. Because there's this one hill coming out of the loading dock that we turn, and every year there's like a bunch of vendors that their cart will just completely tip over. And it always, we go and we help them, try to get everything back up on their cart. But if you make it past there, then instead of having to wait for because the people that they took 2 days to load in all have to load out and in the same like 4 to 5 hour window. I think they let you load out a little bit longer than that, but it's like everyone's evacuating the building all at once. So we don't wait for a spot to open up on the loading dock. We park over at a public parking lot that's like 2 blocks away, and we just push our cart there. It's not 2 blocks away. It's like, here's the loading dock, and like here's a street, and there's the parking. Sometimes we're parked on the far side of it, so it feels like 2 blocks away. But there's some rail tracks. Like, you have to come off of one sidewalk onto the street, get over the rail tracks, and then onto and that's where we see a lot of vendors wreck as well. And that's where in years past, Randy and I have wrecked quite a bit. So we make sure that everything, absolutely every single stinking thing in our booth fits into a tote. So we actually have a few extra totes that they're not packed quite to the brim as they could be, but it's stuff that we bought while at the con, stuff that just didn't pack quite in the same way as it did coming in. But that way, if we spill, it's in a tote. It's not a bunch of little stuff going everywhere. And then we bungee the heck out of like. I'm almost inclined to shrink wrap my booth onto the dolly so that I can cart it around and not wreck. But we still have stuff like slip and slide, and we still have slip ups. But it's an impulse to want to overload your cart. But I'd rather do 1 or 2 extra trips than have to deal with possibly damaged inventory, or what about actual wheeled luggage? That is an option, but we have stuff like our 8-foot long grid walls that there's just no way. Hey Lara, I freaking miss you. And then another thing is with the elevators. It's the elevator, if the freight elevator is going up and it's at the first floor and they're going up to get the people off the 3rd floor, don't everybody get on at the 1st floor, and then by the time they get up, because they have to stop at the 2nd because somebody pressed the button but they're already full, and then they get up to the 3rd but somebody already pressed the button so they're already full. The people who run the elevators, typically the volunteers, they know that they're like, we're hitting the 3rd floor on this one, and then they'll go back down, then they'll go up to the 2nd, grab them, go back down, then they'll get the 1st, and then go back down to the different basement levels. And that way everybody gets out in a kind of timely manner, instead of somebody on the 1st floor just being an asshat and fill it up. But that's just me being particular. Also, people have to get off of an elevator before more people can get on it. So if an elevator opens, please let people off of it before you cram your happy ass on there. I know we're all tired. Come on, guys. We can do this. I think we can. I hope. Okay, so I'm done bitching about that. I love how bitching just gives me like a fresh wave of energy. Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, we're all in the same sinking ship. It's like, come on, guys. Okay. Renee says not to change the subject, but were you able to go to the eye candy pigment site? I have not had a chance, not at all. Been wanting to tell you, you're adorable and very creative. Thanks, Sarah. Sam says, sounds like traffic issues we have at my local market. Yeah, and it's just me first mentality that so many people have, and it's like, it's a 4-way stop, could you please? But anyways, that's just me bitching. Oh. Yeah, Nina says, I'm always alone, so always have to get everything in one go, and it's a pain in the butt. It's for sure, if you're able to bring a helper to Dragon, some smaller conventions, they'll actually have a volunteer like watch your table for you while you go to the bathroom. I don't think they do that at Dragon, and we always try to help our fellow vendors out, but it's like, I can't actually watch your booth while I'm tearing down my booth. or while I'm selling out of my booth. Like, I'm not going to do as good of a job as what you need me to, me personally, just because my booth is my priority. Your booth should be your priority. I don't expect if I ask someone else who's a stranger to be like, hey, can you watch my stuff in my money box while I go take a 2-hour crap? Like, no, get a helper who you trust to watch your booth, and it's totally worth it. So there's that. Uh, well, well, thanks for hanging out with us, Mandy. But yeah, so I think that's everything that I'd recommend for Dragon. Anything beyond that is personal taste. Also, pop over by the Marriott if you get a chance. It's an amazing hotel, and the Dragon Con party scene is just phenomenal. Even just walking through the building is like, well, if you've eaten nothing but like instant mashed potatoes and cheese for 5 days, what do you expect? Use a collapsible wagon to move our stuff in totes, and our totes can padlock or zip tie closed. It's a really good idea. But yeah, also do not take your eyes off your money box. There was a while that we were doing conventions that like people were getting their backpacks stolen, like because it's kind of obvious. It's like, hey, there's a backpack. It's probably got like a laptop and a money box and different things. And it's like one vendor that does like anime stuff, like they were like we had $10,000 in our money box. Like they'd had a really good Saturday and somebody stole it, and I was like, I'd be setting stuff on fire, like just full on Armageddon, Fury Road rage. I actually don't know. I'd be sick too, Bennett. I don't even know how I'd process that. And I think the only way that the people did process it is they were just employees. Like I say just, but they were like the people who just worked that convention for a company. So they were like, oh no, that's lost. But it's like they were still gonna get paid. Like, whereas when you lose 10K of your own money, it's like I've never even had that much money to lose. Like, yeah, for sure. No, thieves and cheats are the worst, 100%. I'm gonna check and make sure this is still, yep, still nice and straight. So these are how, I cannot wait to share with you guys how the booth comes out, because it's like, I'm really excited, and I am gonna have to do a second layer on this one, I think, with like some little swirls and different details and things. But I'm really excited to, we haven't updated our booth for like 5 or 6 years. Y'all want to see some stuff? I'm gonna take you over here to this dark corner of the, hey Sam, you gotta move, buddy, that's where I'm gonna sit. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, that's where butts go. This is my Sam dog. He's in my spot. Hey, don't slide. I'll get your toes. I'll get your toes. I'm coming for your toes, buddy. Give me them toes. Please move. Come on, man. Come on. You can do it. I need to sit there and use my computer. I know. Oh, his little broke butt. Oh, his little broke butt. Go on. Scooch the booty. Oh, he like licked the cushion a bunch, so it's all damp. I want to show you guys. I found pictures of Randy and I's very first booth setup. Let me get this open. Hey, Amber Kitty. Oh, who's a good girl? I do believe you are. You want to go across to your spot? You're going to go nosy. Okay, there we go. All right. So, yeah, that's, Ember likes to sit there. That's usually where our shipping boxes go. She's such a good kitty. I love this cat so much. I know. Oh, she's a good girl. Oh. But yeah, when we're out of shipping boxes, she sits there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see. Nope, I pressed the button but it didn't do anything. Okay, yep, he does, Angela. Okay, so this was Randy. And you can see Randy tried to put his butt in every single picture, but he couldn't on that one, so he just kind of reached over. But that was our very first setup. $1 stretchy bracelets. Oh, very first craft show ever. But yeah, these are the earring displays that I was talking about. So, the roses have like janked up and like broken off of them. So I'm actually gonna do like, I don't know, I'll show you guys there. Oh, did I make it bigger? Cute. I think I did. Okay. And then this was Christmas in Lynchburg, our second craft show ever. So that was, you can kind of see here. Oh, it's slow to load. Super high tech. I had made some wood burnt boxes. There's earrings again. I think I gave that away after a while. Like that was the first part of our display to get rid of. It was this like hook thing, and it was turning. It was very cute, but it was not a very good like display. And so yeah, you can kind of see a little better there. But yeah, I sold those hemp necklaces for like $5. Yeah, I was desperate for money, Jody. So it was basically 30 cents worth of beads. So I charged like $1. But yeah, they were little. I really did enjoy those leatherette displays. To try to look professional. And then, yeah. And then this was Southern Weekend of Art. But yeah, so that's how it all started. And then let's see. Hey, pretty kitty. So that's how there's that kitty butt. That's how our booth started. And then for those of y'all who, how do I? Sorry, trying to figure out how to find stuff. Right? Well, they were like chip beads. They were the promo chip beads from like Fire Mountain Gems, where it was like $1 for a 36-inch strand. Um, how do I find anything on my Facebook? If I only knew. It's just taking a while to load. Trying to get it to load, sorry. Oh my god, it takes forever. Okay. There we go. So now you can see, boop. Nope. I pressed the button and it still didn't do anything. There it is. So this is what our booth setup looked like at Dragon. Really? That's like the worst. I can't believe it's posted like that. That's just the absolute worst. But I'm pretty pleased with the booth setup. I just don't know why it's vertical like this. But yeah, we've come a ways for sure. Yeah, it's really hard to tell what to charge for Dragon Eyes, Sarah. And even now, after all this time, Randy and I have a whole lot of conflict on what we need or ought or should, on just what to charge for a lot of our work. Okay, Jody says, got a question for Vaughn and the Vonsters. Facebook page for business handmade stuff is free, or do you have to pay for it? It's free, but they will constantly prompt you to try to get you to pay for ads and stuff. Don't do it. Like, don't pay for the ads. But yeah, it's free as far as I'm aware. So that being said, we've gone a little over. Ah, right on, Dury. I'm so glad. It arrived a little late, but I'm glad it arrived. But yeah, we went a little over by like 24 minutes, but I didn't mind. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. And I seem to have coughed off a lot of the crud, so that's good. But I'm going to let you guys go. We will see you in Saturday's video, which is sneaky peeky. It's wire wrapping. Yeah, it's from on Amazon. If you go to the Amazon list down in the video description below, there'll be a link and you can follow that, and I have like a fashion tab. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and for just choosing to spend your time here, and I really look forward to getting to hang out with you guys again. And until next time. There it is. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.